This is how we do. We make a move and act the fool while we up in the club. This is how we do. Nobody do it like we do it, so show us some love. This is how we do. We make a move and act the fool while we up in the club. This is how we do. Nobody do it like we do it, so show us some love.
Yo, what is up, Phenoms? Hope you guys are all having a wonderful night and or morning, depending on when you're listening to this video or podcast. Welcome to the Payoff Pitch presented by Fantasy Phenom. I'm Kyle. That is Money Mike. We are back recapping Monday's slate and looking ahead to Tuesday's 14-game main, but 15 total games.
Yeah, we are back in your life. Payoff Pitch. What's up, Phenoms? You know, the song choice had to go with some original stuff. I was telling Kyle that was like I was graduating high school when that song was kind of in the headphones. I had one of those Walkmans with the things behind your head, you know.
Had to have been the Walkman. It
those
been an
those headphones with the things behind your head. That was the shit, you know. You know, make a move, act a fool while we up in the club.
Dude,
all about it, man.
We just couldn't think of a great song to classify it. I mean, it wasn't bad. We didn't lose our ass. We didn't blow anything up. Like, you know, it was just another day. You know, no one died, so we're good.
True that. And so, nobody do it how we do it, so show us some love.
It's facts. Interesting Monday. Fun Monday.
Truth. Always.
Let's see here. Colorado game had a total of 3 runs.
On a slate when you had like all the money in the world, so everybody was going there.
Yo, Chad Bettis, though. What we say about Chad Bettis, Mike?
Come out there and shine. Good for him, man.
Yeah, man.
Chad Bettis won World 0.
17 DraftKings points. Perfectly fine for me at 6K. So I'm not
this slate, hell yeah.
Yeah. Who else? What else happened that was crazy?
Rhys Hoskins finally had 2 home runs.
Finally, he finally had a home run and got 2 of them.
Yeah, exactly. And of all places, in Petco, with the humid, you know, ocean weather, water coming into play. I mean, that's crazy. Good for him. Corey SpongeBob, I think this is his name, was in play.
Spangenberg.
That dude still won't go away. What else? We had Nick Tepish, who didn't strike out any Tampa Bay Rays.
All right, so let's put this in
still
perspective.
Won the game.
Let's put this in perspective real quick. The Rays in the last week have struck out 37.8% of the time. That is 4 out of every 10 at-bats they strike out. And Nick Tepish didn't get 1 strikeout in 18 outs.
Not one, but still won the game.
I don't know how you don't strike out a Ray.
It's impressive. So shout out to Nick Tep, man.
What else happened? Killer Kyle's Kabooms only got 1 right tonight. That was Justin Upton. I feel like it's cheating to put Giancarlo Stanton on that list, so I don't.
I felt the same way tonight. Actually, my hitter write-up was pretty good, man. I just only played 1 lineup. I was telling people in the chat a couple nights ago, like, it's a win when you pick a player pool and the majority of your player pool hits. You know, if you're only playing 1 lineup, you know, it's going to be tough to pick the right guys, but it shows that maybe you should probably try to play multiple lineups to increase your exposure over more of your player pool to increase your chance of profiting. So, yeah, overall it was a pretty solid write-up. I hope you guys cashed tonight. Came down to bats today again, too.
Facts.
So we'll keep talking about that.
This is facts, man. But yeah, let's look at the pitchers. The 2 guys that I played were on this list in Kevin Gausman, Chad Bettis. Pat on the back, Mike. We knew Jose Quintana would be chalk, and he was not deserving of it. Smoke and mirrors, man. He didn't get blown up. I did say I liked a red stack because I thought that they might get to him.
Mm-hmm.
But that goes without saying. I definitely was on the fade Quintana train. And so that worked. And what do we say, man? Zach Greinke, we were definitely in the minority. He was not high owned. And we talked about Greinke over Quintana, and that worked. Can't say we were on Tehran.
No. I think we verbatim said definitely stacking against Tehran tomorrow or today. I'm pretty sure I said that exact same thing.
Yeah, we
exact
did.
same way.
We did stack against him, but
again, that was. I mean, there were zero numbers to support that play. It was just one of those times where he went out and he had a good game, and he's been in this league a while, so these kind of games are going to happen for him. It just has been now it's August, mid-August. We haven't seen it in cores. I wasn't betting on it. Yeah. Greinke went out. He outperformed everybody as far as points. And like you said, we talked about him definitely over Q today. Gosman went out, did his thing. He's been hovering around that 25-point DraftKings mark pretty much since the All-Star break, and I don't see what anybody slow him down. So
Montero was a surprise.
Forward. Yeah, he's a hard thrower. He's got the stuff, but he's also top 5 in ERA. If he were to qualify, he would be top 5 in ERA. So he went out. The Yankees are just that bad right now, man.
This is facts. And then my boy Chad Bettis, I stuck true to my word. I played him, and he, like I said, not a slate winning performance. 31 FanDuel points. I actually played him on FanDuel as my only pitcher. Where I cashed today. I cashed on FanDuel. I just missed cash on DK. But Bettis is my only pitcher on FanDuel I cashed, so I'm not mad. But we talk about it. If he's not going to get strikeouts, he's got to go deep. And he went 6 innings and he didn't give up a lot of hits, so worthy play.
Came down to bats today, man. And as I was photoshopping this image, I immediately thought of the dog emoji with his tongue sticking out.
Is that a hot dog or a tongue?
It's one of those things you put on your thumb when you hit. You know what I'm talking about?
No. But why is
it?
It's one of those.
It's like a spacer that they put on. I guess he grounded into a double play or something. Anyway, there was not a lot of pictures to choose from for Rhys Hoskins, but here's one. Went out. I think it's his 5th game in the starting lineup. This was the first game out of the 5 that I didn't play him. So awesome. Late slate was lit tonight. I think if you were cashing at 8 p.m., you were not at midnight. So
I feel it, man. Cubs, we missed on them. Rizzo and Bryant, definitely. I didn't have them in my player pool, so shame on me. Cam Gallagher, can't say that I was on him. And then Corey Spangenberg, also not on him.
I was not on the Cubs either. I had Bryant actually as my favorite third base one-off, but that's only because I looked at the recent stats and he'd been the only guy that had been consistently hitting. Yeah, they had some home runs here and there in Chase Field, but there really wasn't any consistent hitters on the Cubs lineup. But yep, they broke out today. Hopefully for them that this is a sign for good things to come in this series against some Reds pitching that is terrible. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got 15 games tomorrow, a 14-game main, little slate preview. 6 pitchers on DK over 10K, 4 pitchers on FanDuel over 9K. So
lots of pay-up options. And it's Spangenberg, not SpongeBob, by the way. I just realized that. Yeah, so there's a lot of plays to go. On DraftKings, like you said, 5 guys, I think. 6 guys, maybe? You can pay 10K and above?
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 guys. So what does that mean? That means, do you try to pick the guy out of that bunch?
No.
Dig into the stats and really try to find the one guy to the 6. To me, anybody of those 6 guys can go out there and perform better than the other 6. But can they perform 10 to 15 points above the rest is the question you have to ask yourself. The other thing that I notice whenever you have that many pitchers, they're priced up for a reason. They've been playing well. So that automatically kind of limits the player pool. That takes 6 teams kind of out of stacking play unless you really think one of these aces is in a rut. Kind of like, I don't know an example, but Quintana, like we saw yesterday. But not that I can really say that about either of these 6 guys. So it's going to limit the player pool in a sense, but it's also going to make you have to decide whether you think one of these guys has the stuff and the matchup to go out there and break the slate. Be worthy of that price.
My strategy tomorrow is fade all the high price guys and just go to value. Go to mid range pitching. What's up, Rudy? Rudy's in the spot. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna fade the high price guys, and I'm already looking at mid range. And my favorite pitcher is on this slate, so we lit. But
yeah, one of our boys is pitching tomorrow, guys.
He them boys. He that boy.
No, I don't know if he's that boy, but he's one of them boys.
One of them boys. Well, if you want to play the all day, you got Brad Peacock and Anthony Banda.
Oh shit! Really?
So, couple things here. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with peacocks, but the male peacock is the one with the beautiful feathers, and the female one is the one that's mad ugly, that's just all brown. Brad Peacock, at the beginning of the year, was the beautiful male peacock that spread his wings and everyone liked, and now he is the ugly female one that's all brown, and he's playing like shit too. So
I was that was beautiful, man. I think you would have won the 8th grade essay contest.
Thanks, man. And then Anthony not helping you stack bands is opposing him. And I don't think I like either guy enough or either stack enough to warrant the all-day slate.
Not much going on here in the bats either. I think if I had it isn't Chase Fields, so I could see if you get hooked on one of these bats. Obviously, there's a lot of high-priced bats in this game. If you get hooked on one that you think is probably the best at their position, a guy like Altuve or Bregman, or I don't know. I'm thinking of like other than first base and outfield. You know, that's kind of where I look at with there's only one game on the all-day slate. I'm looking at like positions where I really want that guy to fill my second base spot, I don't know. There really isn't much. Obviously, Houston against lefties, that probably takes... Who hits worse against lefties? I think Beltran and Marwin, I think both hit worse against lefties.
Marwin's actually better against lefties, which is odd, because he's a more power... Yeah, it's weird. But historically been better versus...
I know they're both switch hitters, but...
Yeah.
Either way, fading that situation.
Facts. All right, LA and Washington. First game of the main, we have Tyler Skaggs and Gio Gonzalez. Gio is the definition of consistency. The dude just provides the safe floor you want in cash. I don't think he's a DK option at 11.5, but on DraftKings, he's 8.9, and that is too cheap for the floor he provides if you're looking at a cash pitcher.
He's been terrific, man. He's been their workhorse. He's kind of become like a finesse pitcher, so to speak. Like I was reading an article about him. How he had the Marlins in back-to-back starts. Sandwiched between he had his child, and in that first start he almost had that no-hitter, and he was challenged with the idea of. They just saw all my best stuff. What am I going to do this time? He went out and adapted and ended up throwing his changeup almost 38% of the time and having another good start. So it's just another one of those pitchers that's been understands how to pitch the game to his opponent. He struggled against the Angels not too long ago, actually, believe it or not. One of the only blips on his radar. In LA on July the 19th, he gave up 4 earned in 5 2/3 and only struck out 3, which is not what you want for his price. But thank you for playing cash, and you see what he's been doing. 25 points seems pretty reasonable in this matchup.
Yeah, I just the floor. So, and LA, if you buy into splits, away versus lefties, they're worse split over the last 30 days. So that's that. I do like Skaggs, actually, for GPP play. He's pitched well, and I don't know if Washington's going to all of a sudden... Again, losing Bryce is big. Now, they had, obviously, the day off. could write that tomorrow, that grand slam, walk-off, maybe gets that offense going a little bit, but I think it's worth a GPP shot here.
Yeah, I mean, Skaggs had elite K stuff in the minor leagues last year before he got called up. I think in his 7 AAA starts before he got called up last year, he had like a K per 9 almost of 12, came up, pitched really well, was a sleeper option for this for this rotation coming into the season. Him and Garrett Richards, I believe, were like 2 kind of X factors, or if they could be healthy and shine the way scouts thought they could, maybe this rotation would be good. Well, he's back now. He's had 2 starts off the DL. His last start was okay at Seattle. He almost had 20 DK points, like 6,200, a lefty versus Washington. Again, it's more of a tournament throw, but I could see it having some upside depending on what that lineup looks like tomorrow. Obviously, Rendon versus a lefty, even though he's been really, really cold of late, isn't going to be in play. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with this lineup tomorrow.
Thanks. We got DeGrom and Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray has he's had some bad defense behind him, so let's throw that out there. In his first 2 starts with New York, but he hasn't been
his whole career.
Well, yeah, Oakland's not good defense either, but he hasn't been elite. Let's put it that way. He hasn't been the guy that New York traded for and was hoping they'd get so far. He has a great matchup with the Mets tomorrow, who strike out a ton, especially as of late. Their home run or strikeout, we see that again. So I like the fact that Gray pitches to the ground ball. I think he's in play. I think he's a GPP play, but I love DeGrom in this spot. I know he's on the road. The Yankees are mad cold right now, though, and DeGrom, one of the best pitchers on the entire slate in the last recent days. I think I'll venture to say he's been the best pitcher, not named Danny Salazar, in terms of raw numbers on this slate as of late.
I definitely expect this to be a pitcher's duel tomorrow between Gray and DeGrom. Yeah, Gray is winless in his 2 starts with the Yankees, but he's only given up 8 combined hits. He's got 2 quality starts, and he's looked okay. Like you said, he's looked okay, but I think he's got the stuff to come out of it. The problem with him has been the walks, the command. 7 walks in those 2 starts. And the Mets, other than the long ball, haven't really been hitting. We keep talking about this. They've actually been striking out a ton. They got a bunch of rookies in their lineup now. They're on like slight rebuild mode, but they have been hitting home runs. And one thing I do like with with Sonny Gray, he's only given up 3 home runs in his last 10 starts. So if that's how you beat him, it doesn't really pitch his strength, like you said. He pitches to the ground ball. Now, the problem with it is he's opposite DeGrom, and DeGrom has 8 or more strikeouts in 5 straight starts, I believe, 4 or 5 straight starts.
He's been mad consistent.
He did leave his last start early after getting hit with a line drive off Nick Williams' bat. Hit his pitching arm, actually. He had to leave the game, but he's making his scheduled next start, so take that for what you will. I still think if I'm paying up, he's one of the guys I'm looking to.
Same. Not paying up. I'll say that now, but I would go there if I was. Or he's one of the guys I'm looking at. Marco Estrada and Blake Snell mentioned the Rays' strikeout numbers over the last week. Nick Tepesh will make that number look a little better with his not striking out self. But Marco Estrada has been trending in the right direction. And he is one of my favorite plays on draft. Actually, I think he's in play on FanDuel for the price savings as well. His upside is high enough for what he's been doing. So his xFIP and his numbers still not exactly where I want them, but they're trending up like I mentioned. So his xFIP over the last 30, 5.97, down to 5.24 his last 14, down to 4.79 his last 7. His strikeouts up from 20 to 22 to 25. So, again, strikeouts increasing, xFIP decreasing, and he gets the most strikeout-happy team in the league. They're not hitting for anything right now. No power, no base hits, no nothing. And so, again, it's a pure matchup play with upside here. And for the price, I think he can pay it off.
Estrada, I don't know. I'm looking at this matchup, man, and I think this feels like the ultimate buy low, sell high. You know, Tampa, super low priced. They're extremely cold. They burned a lot of people today, I believe, thinking that Nick Tepesh was the guy to break them out of their slump. And Estrada, you know, coming off a couple good starts, I feel like it's such a sell high. Even his team thinks so. They just put him on waivers last Friday, thinking that they could possibly if when he clears waivers, try to sell high on him. So even if his team thinks so, I mean, like you said, he's got 3 straight quality starts coming in this game, but he also has 3 starts against the Rays this year and has given up 7 home runs in 14 innings pitched against the Rays this season. Obviously, different Rays team a bit, but still, that's pretty alarming numbers for a guy that has a super high fly ball rate. So, I don't know, it just feels like a good time to buy low on the Rays and perhaps sell high on Estrada for me.
I don't know. I like pairing Estrada with Dinelson Lamet tomorrow. So don't know. I can join you on that journey there, Mike. I stacked.
Not playing Estrada? It'll be fun, man. Don't worry about it.
No, stacking Tampa, buying low on Tampa.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna put if I need a cheap bat in my lineup, I don't see why I wouldn't attack Estrada. I'm not gonna stack Tampa. I don't think.
I don't know, man.
I don't think I'll need the savings to do so. But if I do,
yeah, I just don't know that I can go there. Giants and Marlins. I'm gonna call it now. Giancarlo Stanton does not hit a home run tomorrow versus Madison Bumgarner. Are you there? Did you die?
No, I'm reading these comments because people are talking like I can't read them.
Yeah, Mike reads the comments.
What's good?
Chat is lit tonight.
Y'all trying to pull one over. Nah, I'm just ignoring the fuck out of you. It's cool like usual. I'm going. Oh man,
That's great. That made my night.
Bumgarner in Miami, kind of feeling like a fade all around, except for Stanton.
I'm not paying up for Bumgarner. Yeah, I'm not paying up for Stanton.
Insert yesterday's comments today. Type thing.
I'm telling you, Stanton does not hit a home run tomorrow for his Bumgarner. I'm calling it.
I mean, if Mike plays him, then I'm not playing him.
Facts.
Let's put it that way.
Facts. Yo, shout out to Michael Townsend. This dude has the best attitude of anyone I've ever seen. He had to have killed someone, like legit, and just not got caught or something. Because he's the most snake-bitten dude I've ever seen in my life. He counted the number of guys his bats left on base today. Just in the late slate alone, 26 guys. 5 guys with the bases loaded he had in his lineup, and they all got out. I cried for the dude. But yes, he sticks around, and he has the best attitude. It's hilarious.
Hell yeah. I've been there too, man. I think a lot of people have, so it's all in good fun, and I think that's awesome, man. I think that's a lot of what we do is all about.
Facts.
For sure.
I think Dan Straley's in play tomorrow. Giants are that bad. And he's cheap.
Yeah, that's definitely another buy low candidate in my opinion. He's probably the cheapest he's ever been, $6,500 for Dan Straley. The strikeouts have eluded him in the past month. So I don't know that's kind of what he needs. You know, he really does give up a lot of hits. He hasn't given up a long ball. That's true. So yeah, I think it's a definitely interesting buy low candidate tomorrow. And I don't know. Maybe the matchup brings some ownership and the price. I could see it. I could definitely see some ownership tomorrow.
Good pairing.
Because he's definitely wants people some money in tournaments, man. He's definitely one of those guys.
Yeah.
So people have a soft spot for some Dan.
God damn it! I still have texture on me.
Texture?
Yeah, from I painted the drywalls. Or I didn't paint them. I was there while the guy was spraying the drywall. If you guys, I mean, you can see it on my Twitter page. I posted it, but I found out I just have it all over my knee still. God damn it. Apparently I'm not good at showering. It's a skill you learn.
Did you paint that? Did you pick out that color too? It's a beautiful color, by the way. What is that? Sand color of that bedroom?
Oh, and here, no, my mom picked it out, bro. I don't have any taste. I wear white and black T-shirts.
It's a beautiful sand color.
Thank you, sir.
No, I'm just messing with you. It looks like puke.
Oh, I'll tell mom you said that. She knows who you are. Remember that.
It looks like any apartment you move into. Same color. I don't know why I'm talking about color. I'm colorblind. This seems wrong.
Sterling says I was there while the guy was spraying. Yeah, so I was literally the guy. So he's on this little pedestal thing, right? And platform.
Just stop just quit right there while you're ahead.
No, he's like spraying.
There was a guy on the pedestal thing.
Shut the fuck up. He's spraying the roof, and I just had to I just had to roll him around the room so he could spray without having to like break form.
So there's a guy standing on the pedestal, and you were rolling around the room while he sprayed. Did I get that right?
I wasn't rolling. I was rolling. I was rolling him around, and he was like, "Yo, move this."
This is getting even better, dude. All right, I'm gonna come right back.
Oh, you're actually leaving? He actually left. All right, well, I'll talk about the slate then, because I'm not funny.
What's good?
Oh, you're back. St. Louis and Boston. Mike Leake and Rick Porcello. Mike Leake's definitely a fade for me here. Rick Porcello, I think, is someone that we can attack with St. Louis bats here. They stay hot, and they won 8 in a row. Did they beat Dickey?
Who? St. Louis?
Yeah, did they win Sunday?
I think so.
Not. They lost their 8-game win streak. So they're starting a new streak tomorrow against Rick Porcello. They get a DH. I like St. Louis's matchup against Porcello here.
There's going to be some home runs hit in this game against Porcello. He has given up pretty much a home run, or probably more. He's given up multiple home runs in the majority of his starts. Let's put it that way. He's given up a total of 28 this year in 24 starts. So who do you think hits it, man?
Carpenter.
I think the hottest players are in the middle of this order. DeYoung, Fowler.
Carpenter. Pham.
I usually like righties with the monster.
Pham's a reverse splits guy too.
Mm-hmm. Pham's been cooling down a little bit.
It's all right. We got Ivan Nova and Zach Davies. Not playing Zach Davies, but Ivan Nova. I mean, it's a battle of who's worse right now. Milwaukee's been striking out a shitload. Ivan Nova not really doing much. I think it's going to be a game fade overall for me. Not going to stack against Nova, but I don't want to pitch him in this matchup.
Yeah, ground ball pitcher, tax the zone in Milwaukee. I could see it, but he's been really struggling the second half, man. We haven't seen a good start out of Nova in a while, and I don't see why going to Milwaukee is going to change that narrative. Another guy that's really dropped in price to $6,400 now, only $100 cheaper than Straley. But the long ball has plagued him the second half, and that's what Milwaukee does. So I'm off of it.
Yeah, I would rather, for what it's worth, I'd rather stack against Nova than play him. But I think I'm gonna fade the whole situation.
Yeah, and Davies looked good. He's been so up and down, man. Davies is, for his price at $7,900 is not in play, and he's been up and down. I could see him going out and having an okay start with Pittsburgh. But I could also see him getting rocked like he did against Minnesota in his last time out.
Cincinnati, Chicago, Luis Castillo. Me and Theo are playing a head-to-head tomorrow. It's a Castillo-Lamet slate. He beat me last time on some bullshit. Scooter Gennett Grand Slam. But I'm coming back with a vengeance tomorrow. I don't like Castillo in the spot against the Cubs.
Yeah.
So not going to
Not after what they did tonight.
But Theo has to play him, and I get Lamet, so it's lit. But
Truth.
I don't want to stack against Castillo. He has not been getting blown up, and he's actually been pitching really, really well. He's already faced a ton of tough opponents, so this is nothing new to him. And then Kyle Hendricks, historically been since his time with the Cubs, has been an extremely good pitcher at home. I don't think he's in play for the lack of strikeouts, but there's no way I'm playing Cincy bats tomorrow.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the whole Ivan Nova situation. And Cincinnati has been hot as a team, so I don't want to play Hendricks. I was looking to see if Castillo has played.
Oh, Cubbies.
Yeah, because if he has, that's a significant negative to me. I thought he did. I feel like one of his first starts was like Washington, the Cubs. Washington. No, it wasn't.
I don't think he's played the Cubs.
So he hasn't played the Cubs yet. No.
But he will.
So
tomorrow.
maybe he's in play. But they just put up 14 runs today, so I don't really want to go there either. And his price is he's over 8K now, so maybe a tournament play.
I can't.
That nobody would be on. Nobody's gonna be on that though.
We got Justin Verlander and AJ Griffin. Definitely not playing any Detroit bets against a righty tomorrow. Them on the road versus righties. Them versus righties in general, not very good, but on the road, not good at all. Justin Verlander, not a guy I'm going to pitch tomorrow against Texas. They hit too well at home. But I don't know that I stack against him either. This dude has been fantastic over the second half of the season. Mentioned it every time he pitches. Throughout his career, he's been a second-half pitcher. So I think this is going to be a overall game fade for me as well.
Top 10 ERA over the last 30 days for Verlander in baseball, 2.01. That's probably over 5 or 6 starts. 44 strikeouts in his last 39 innings. And he touched 100 miles an hour with his fastball for the first time since September of 2013. It's almost 4 years. So maybe we're seeing a bit of a rebirth more than we thought. Either way, in Texas is generally a significant negative to any opponent, no matter who it is, especially if I'm paying for it. I could see maybe if Verlander was one of 2 guys to pay up to today, or maybe one of like today, like with Greinke and Quintana, where he would be the guy. But we got 6 guys to kind of compare him with, and the matchup speaks volumes. So at Texas is tough, especially if he's relying on the fastball to get people out.
Yeah. We got Cleveland, Minnesota. Danny Salazar, Bartolo Colon. So here's the thing, right? Danny Salazar has been lights out in his last couple starts. The problem is Minnesota has been hitting the cover off the ball. And I don't know, man. That's another reason why I just don't feel confident in the paying up for pitching tomorrow. Like, he can go out and absolutely dominate. But the way Minnesota's been hitting, they have a 15% K rate in their last 7 days and a over 400 WOBA. They're seeing the ball really, really well. I just don't know if Salazar's that guy tomorrow. He can go out and have a slate winning performance, no doubt, but I don't know if the risk is worth that reward tomorrow.
I think so. I think if I was choosing, obviously it's between DeGrom and Salazar, and I think you can easily make the case for Salazar digging into pitch value. This would seem like a good slate. A good matchup for him. For the pitches that he throws, he relies a lot on his changeup and his sinker, which is like a 2-seam fastball almost. But like you said, Minnesota's been hitting the ball very well, and the Yankees really haven't. So definitely going to be taking some digging to figure out if you want to pay either one, or if you don't want to pay either one at all. Like I said, if you're paying up for a guy like Salazar, you really are hoping that he goes out there and gets you 8 to 10 more DraftKings points in the field.
Yeah.
So.
And then I don't know that I play Cleveland tomorrow too. I don't think they're my favorite stack to go to. There's other spots on the slate.
Bartolo Colon has been pitching well, but we know who he is. Yes. He's not that guy.
Atlanta, Colorado, round 2. I'm going right back to Colorado tomorrow. Sean Newcomb has not been great, and Colorado just absolutely puts lefties in the grave at home. They're hitting almost 500, 443, so a little bit of a roundup there. But 443 average over the last 30 days at home versus lefties. Almost a 500 WOBA. That's fucking ridiculous. 1 in 4 of their fly balls end up as a home run. Now, obviously, I don't know if Arenado plays tomorrow. They are saying he's not going to go on the DL. I doubt he plays. but there is plenty of power here. Valika, Story, Lucroy,
Para, Reynolds,
Yep. So
Blackman.
definitely going right back to a Colorado stack. And then I actually like some Kyle Freeland. He is a ground ball pitcher in a park that you need to be, and Atlanta is pretty damn ice cold right now. So I see this as another Chad Bettis performance where he maybe gets 4 or 5 strikeouts, but he goes 7 innings. And that's perfectly respectable for a price of $6K and $6.2 on FanDuel and DraftKings, respectively.
A couple things about this game. I would venture to say that with all the payoff options and the fact that Cora's definitely disappointed many today, that this game will not be looked at very much, especially with 2 lefties on the mound as well. But if you look here, away versus lefties, home versus lefties, both these teams are probably 2 of their best splits. Freeland, if you're looking at all these stats, what you need to circle here is the home stats for hard contact and fly ball rate. The guy is a lot of weak ground balls when you look at those 2 numbers. So I agree. I think that there is some significant quality start upside for Freeland, especially with how Atlanta's been playing. I don't think there's any K upside, but if you're paying down, I think, and you're just hoping for 15 points, I think Freeland is a safe-ish bet to get there.
Agree. Kansas City, Oakland. I'm going back to Kansas City tomorrow as well. Chris Smith is plenty attackable. High hard contact, high fly ball rate, home run per 9. Pretty much off the chart right now. I'm going to go back to the Kansas City lefties. Hosmer, Moose, Melky. Still like Kane and Merrifield. So, again, basically all of Kansas City's in play for me. Not going to throw Jason Hamler, though.
Yeah, game stack in this one, guys. These lineups, we know what Kansas City's lineup's going to be. Oakland's been shaking it up. So, definitely game stack here. And in the next game, too.
Yeah, Baltimore
maybe not as
Seattle.
much with Seattle against Miley because I don't like what they really do versus lefties, but not pitching Miley. He has a whip and I think it's like and a strikeout to walk ratio. I think both those stats are like bottom 5 in baseball.
Just bad. I actually kind of like some Seattle tomorrow against Miley. I think Cruz is going to be an elite one-off. I believe he has good BBP off him, too. I can't remember, but I believe he does. Danny Valencia, Gene Segura. I like the righties, basically, against Miley. And then this Andrew Albers kid is making his major league debut, I believe.
Independent race. Let's see. Yeah, Cruz, man, is going to be an elite one-off. I mean, Wade Miley did drop
Mariners debut.
30.
Mariners debut, not his major league debut.
He did drop 30 in his last start. It's Andrew Albers.
This dude's 31. He's a career minor leaguer. 4.41 ERA in the majors. 79 innings pitched. Only 42 strikeouts. So, yeah, go ahead and stack Baltimore tomorrow. Just go
Struggling.
right back to it.
Okay. First thing I see, I typed Andrew Albers into Google, and under top stories it says, Braves trade lefty Andrew Albers to Mariners for cash considerations.
There you go.
What that tells me is...
He's not good.
Here. You can have this guy.
Yeah. So, go right back to a Baltimore stack tomorrow. I don't think there's any issue with that. They stay hot. Machado... Grand slam tonight. He's trying to get to that number that you called, Mike. 12 home runs in August. He's doing what he can.
I'm hoping. Hey man, this guy had it coming, and don't sleep on them.
I like late stacks tomorrow, man. I really like Kansas City. I love Baltimore, and I love Los Angeles as well against Miguel Gonzalez. Going right back to attacking him. Houston fucked me versus Gonzalez, and he was the value pitcher of that slate. That will not happen again, and if it does, I'll retire from DFS. You have my word. It's on public YouTube.
Please don't.
So,
if Miguel Gonzalez is the ace of the slate tomorrow, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Sorry, guys.
You're gonna be hosting shows with Theo.
Oh man.
So I'm stacking Dodgers.
What's it? Yeah, definitely in play. I think these series, a lot of these late slate. I mean, a lot of these late games are game stack worthy. So
I agree. I think
Alex Wood hasn't had his stuff. I don't know if I stack against him with White Sox, but he hasn't been striking enough people out to pay off his price tag. I expect his price to stay falling. His velocity has. So I don't know, man. I could see. I feel like they should start going 6-man until the playoffs. I mean, they have
the depth to do it.
The depth to do it, and they're gonna have the decision to make once these series start coming up in the playoffs. Who's their third guy? I mean, I think everyone would have said Wood coming in the All-Star game, but
yeah, I'm with you, man. I don't pitch him tomorrow though. He's not even my favorite pitcher on the late slate.
Isn't it Nelson Met?
Nelson Met.
Is it Nelson Met or is it Nelson Lamet?
I don't know. Did I say Nelson Met before?
Nah, dude. It just, if you take out the duh and the la, it de-emphasizes his name to make him be like just a guy. Nelson Met.
Where the fuck?
Like, how boring is that?
Shit from?
Sounds so boring.
Like, do you think of this shit before the show?
Absolutely not, dude. No.
I have no idea where.
Definitely not.
I have no idea where that came from.
No, I mean, I don't know where Dinelson Lamet came from. Not even that, but Mark Leiter literally has pitched his way back into this rotation. Vince Velasquez gets hurt. Actually, I believe it was Pavetta got rocked in Coors. They bring Mark Leiter in, and he sets a new Phillies record with 9 strikeouts in relief. And then Velasquez gets hurt in his last start. They bring Leiter in SunTrust. He comes out and has another 8 Ks in relief, and now he's in the starting rotation again, getting a start in San Diego. It's a guy that had very good strikeout numbers before he got to the majors. Had a rough go of it when they called him up earlier. Went back down for a couple months. Came back to be a long reliever when they traded Hellickson, and here he is. So definitely has earned his way back. I'm excited to see what he's got tomorrow, and I think he's in play.
Thoughts on pitching Lamet and Leader at each other on the main?
Oh, man. I'm pretty sure this was the lowest implied total of the day. I think it was 7-3 was the ending score, but I could see it happening again tomorrow. So I don't see why not. Both these teams... The problem is both these teams have terrible bullpens. Like Eichhoff today gave up 1 earned run, and the Phillies end up losing 7-3.
Yeah, but that doesn't affect them. I mean, you're only getting 1 win anyway, and if you don't get either, I mean, whatever. It's 4 points, 6 points on FanDuel.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're throwing them at each other, you're hoping to see some upside here. We all know Lamet's upside. His last couple starts have been fantastic. A 118 average against in his last 14 days. So his last 3 starts. You already talked about Leader stats. Leiter, sorry, not Leader.
Mark Leiter Jr.
Mark Leiter Jr. So I think it's a bold call. I think it's doable. Definitely on the late slate, these would be my 2 guys to throw at each other. So, but I think it's a bold strategy. Tomorrow I think might be a day to make a main line or a late night lineup and throw it in the main.
I totally agree, man.
Baltimore stack, Los Angeles stack, Philly, and throw Leader and Lamet at each other. And if you want, you can throw in a Colorado stack and get a late-ish line.
Hey, I totally agree with that, man. And then you got Kansas City, Oakland. We talked about being a game stack and this game in Seattle. So, agreed.
Also,
totally agree.
With that said, I talked about stacks. We were talking to Rudy tonight on Skype, and we were just kind of talking about baseball in general. And I think it's worth mentioning, right, that we're all in agreement that on a 14, 15, maybe even a 10-game slate or above, I think it's becoming, at least as of late, more imperative that you don't stack 4 and 5 deep, because the chances of that one team going off are so limited, and I would say have a better shot of winning a GPP finding, let's say you go 3-man and a 2-man, or two two two-mans and one-offs, or two three-mans and one-offs, or four two-mans, however you want to do it. I just don't think on a big slate, it's the best strategy to go 4 and 5 deep right now. It doesn't seem to be working.
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, I've been saying that. I think it's logical. It just defies logic to think that out of 30 games, 4 of the best players are going to be on one team. That doesn't make any sense to me. I think to win a tournament on a 15-game slate, you have to get the value right, and you have to get your payoff options right. Everything in between, I could see you wanting to stack and kind of piece those players together, but relatively speaking, you have to get your 2 value picks right, your 2 pay-up options right, and figure the rest out. I don't necessarily think you have to get your pitchers right in order to take down a tournament. Obviously, like a slate like today, where they're all kind of bunched up, you had to get 2 guys on that top slide. But unless there's a guy that breaks the slate as far as pitching, it's not as imperative.
I agree. So I'll tell you guys right now, I'm definitely paying down for pitching tomorrow. I'm not going to pitch any of those top 6 guys. Just not a day to do it for me. I don't see enough differentiation. I think I got that word right. I'm trying to build my vocabulary here. Enough differentiation on the slate to pay for those 10K guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Andrew Albers, by the way, he's from Canada, and his parents' names are Denise and Bernie. So, fun facts.
Bernie Albers, Denise Albers. They sound like white people to me.
All right. Anyway, I recommend you guys check out our posts in the group once we post them.
Facts.
And yeah, and bring to the table what you guys got. I love to hear everybody's research, who people are on, where the chalk's going to be, strange narratives, you name it, man. I'd love to hear it. So keep it coming.
Yeah, and we'll be back tomorrow with some kabooms, some money mashers, Theo's lame ass touch 'em all. I mean, he needs a better name than that. And then Jer's Jacks, or no, Jer's. What did he call him? Damn it!
I don't remember.
I gotta find his name. I was dying.
Cha.
Jer's Jong Dongs. Jer's Jong Dongs. I love it. Jeremy literally posted half the slate hitting the home run. I was like,
there you go.
I was like,
that's why I did it by price. I was like, this is too easy. Why don't I just put Upton and Stanton? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I like the price strategy. So, and
that's another dynamic.
We'll post those to Twitter daily. Just the jacks of the day, but the rest of the stuff you got to get in River to get all the stacks and one-offs. But at the very least, we'll throw out our home run predictions of the day, and hopefully we hit on more than one today.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Tomorrow, guys, on the show, tune in. We'll be debating our favorite sports movies. Kyle didn't know that till right now.
I did not know that.
But tune in.
Coach Carter, though. You know what's funny? Hey. The dude that's doing the texturing on the house, he went to Richmond High School. He said, we were talking about the movie. He's like, bro, that shit is Hollywoodized as fuck. He's like, there is nothing about that school that looks that nice. He's like, I don't know what school they were using for that video production, but it wasn't Richmond High.
I'm sure it wasn't.
But yeah, Coach Carter, lit. Best sports movie. Radio.
It's tomorrow.
Well. Sorry.
Stop.
I'm getting ahead of myself here. It is tomorrow here. It's 12 a.m. now. Just turned the clock.
Goodness.
But all right,
that
guys.
Means we gotta go to bed.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow night. We'll obviously have our posts up during the day, and let us know if you got any other questions. Appreciate you all tuning in, and have a wonderful night or morning.
Yep. Let's win some money.